Hi, and welcome back to Military Law Talks. So today is Tuesday, April 8th, and the DRP 2.0 window is open for DOD civilian employees. So they pushed out some new guidance today that I wanted to make a video about to show you what it looks like. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is DPAS, DCPAS website. It is a DoD website that puts out official communications. So there's new guidance today for the DRP 2.0, the DoD's DRP. And so you can find this information as publicly available on DPAS. So let's take a look at what it looks like. All right, I'm gonna. Okay, so just a reminder, if you haven't seen my previous videos on the DRP program or the DoD's DRP 2.0, it is a deferred resignation program allowing DoD civilians to voluntarily leave government service at a deferred time period. So they can leave government service at any point in time up to 30 September, so the end of the fiscal year. And also, in conjunction with DRP, they're offering the VERA program, the voluntary early retirement, for those that are eligible. So remember, there's certain eligibility for VERA. So to be qualified for VERA, you have to meet certain requirements. To be eligible for VERA, you have to either be 50 years old with 20 years of credible federal service, or any age with 25 years of federal service. So again, 50 years old plus 20 years, or any age and 25 years of service. And so the VERA is being offered in conjunction with DRP. So you could elect to early retire if you're eligible, and then have the end of your retirement or your retirement effective 30 September. And so again, I've posted previous videos about this, but the DoD's intent, SecDef's intent, is to reduce the size of the civilian workforce within the DoD by at least 8%, around 8%. I think that is their goal, their stated goal. And so this is a way to meet that goal without having to do involuntary measures like RIFs, reduction in forces, or just straight up terminations. And so this is a way that people can voluntarily leave and be offered, in a sense, kind of transition leave. So if you elect the DRP program, you'll remain a government employee until the end of the fiscal year, or earlier if you choose to. And so you'll get all your pay, TSP matching, leave, etc., and you will not have to work. You'll be in an administrative leave status. So I'll leave links to this below, but you can find this guidance on the DPAS website. So the window is now open for DRP 2.0. It opened yesterday, April 7th, and it'll remain open for 1 week until Monday, April 14th at essentially midnight. But I believe it's probably Eastern time. So get your information in if you want to apply for the VERA program. And then what happens is that employee names who elect DRP will be sent up to the DoD. They'll ensure that they are qualified and eligible for DRP, because remember, there's certain employees who are ineligible for DRP. So laid out right here: non-appropriated fund employees, foreign local nationals, dual status military technicians, highly qualified experts, and re-employed annuitants. Remember, re-employed annuitants are individuals who have previously retired from government service, are receiving a pension, and then came back to government service. But probationary employees are eligible to participate. So if you're a probationary employee and you think maybe you might get terminated if there's involuntary separations, this might be an opportunity for you to take part into this program, and then you can leave. Once approved for the DRP program, your administrative leave will start no earlier than 1 May, and you'll be required to enter a written agreement to resign no later than 30 September. And so there are some FAQs that were published today, April 8th, on DPAS website in pursuant to this memo. So we'll take a look at those. Okay, and here are the FAQs that are published on the DPAS website. So you can review them if you have questions, but it's a variety of different questions that were asked. How can you apply? So if you are an eligible federal employee, you should have received an email with a link to a form that you'll fill out. And if you did not receive the email, talk to your supervisor. Unlike the OPM program, you do not reply to the email. You actually will click on a link in an email or use a QR code to find a link to a form, and then you fill out the form. And this program, you can actually appoint someone else to do that for you. So you could have your supervisor or someone else fill out the form for you. And so again, this just goes over several questions that have been asked and provide the answers. The program is not going to be extended. So you only have until that April 14th deadline. They are not going to extend that program. If you are on leave or TDY and don't have access to your government email, that's how it does have the mechanism that you can appoint someone else to fill out the information for you. It talks about who's eligible per that memo. Certain employees are not eligible. And then if you do elect, you do have to be approved to be in the program. Probationary employees are eligible, and then talks about the administrative leave. And when you're in administrative leave, part of that is you will remain, like I said, a government employee. So there are some ethical considerations. If you elect to be in the program, you can get another job, but you can't get another job with the federal government. You're already employed with the federal government or a government contractor. And so that you'd be prohibited by ethical rules for those types of jobs. And then again, just provides some more information on different questions. So I am actually going to now show you some other documents that are also on DPAS. And so if you're an employee that elects the DRP program and are approved for the program, you do have to enter into a separation agreement. You have to sign that agreement before you start on administrative leave. And this is the sample agreement that was posted to DPAS today on April 8th. And so this just shows you can look at it yourself, you can look it up, but it shows you the example agreement that you would be required to sign prior to starting on administrative leave. Pretty standard contract. It lays out your responsibilities that you have to resign prior to or on or about September 30th. And then you waive any sorts of claims or rights. So you can't pursue any sort of legal action. This is what we would call a global settlement. You can't pursue any sort of action against the government in regards to this program. If you're over 40, there's an additional law, the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, that provides additional rights to employees over 40. So you actually have more time to consider and revoke the agreement. And so this lays out your rights. And so you would need to read this if you're over 40, but you do have up to 7 days to you can revoke this agreement within that 7-day period. But make sure you understand it. And then the agency will sign, some representative from the agency, and then the employee will sign. Okay, one other document that I'm going to show you. Okay, so if you do elect the DRP program, DRP 2.0, you'll click on a link or follow the QR code, and you will be brought to this form. And so it explains the program that you can either resign or retire, either if you're already retirement eligible or through VERA, the voluntary early retirement. And so it just lays out the program, and then you'll just fill out your information. So name, work email, if you are applying for the DRP. So if you would want to elect the program, you'd select yes. And then are you resigning? So that's for non-retirement eligible employees. Retire, immediate annuity. That's if you are already retirement eligible. So you've already earned your retirement. You could retire today and get a pension. That's that selection. And then retire with VERA. That's for the voluntary early retirement. Remember, age 50 plus 20 years of credible federal service, or any age with 25 years of federal service. And then you'll provide your DOD ID number that's on the back of your CAT card. And then you'll hit submit, and that's it. That's all that will happen. And so if you elect the program, you'll just fill out that information, and then all after the window is closed, all the information is going to go up to the DOD, and then it'll come back down to your respective commands once they have a list of all the employees that have elected DRP and then that are eligible and approved for DRP. And so I will continue following this and make other videos on this content. And I have other videos coming up on all things military law and latest news in the DOD. So if you like this video, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I have a new channel, so please help support me. Consider subscribing and sharing my channel to others that you think would enjoy this content. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.